very good evening to you tuned into UBC TV. Thank you so much for following our programs. And here is a new one. We had its nature during the presidential elections of 2021, where we had all the presidential candidates sitting here on a one-on-one, and each one of them managed to tell us what their programs were for the Ugandans and the kind of agenda they had for this country. So we are taking on this program, getting those personalities that the country really need to hear from on a personal basis and get to understand them probably in their own capacities. So the program targets inspiration, critical analysis on different issues, plus accountability for those that have really something to account to the Ugandans watching. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa. You're most welcome to UBC One-on-One with Michael Jordan Lukomwa. Now, there is a man in this country, in this town, a legal practitioner. He came onto the scenes, onto our screens, when he stood up and he sued His Majesty the Kabaka of Buganda. Everybody was wondering who the man was and what exactly was the basis for his courage. Whether he won the case or not, it was not something small. How he got the courage and how he ended up in court to sue His Majesty the Kabaka of Buganda, we want to know. The other day, he was part of the lawyers that were in the Tojikwatako case in Mbale, and his name was so much in our screens and in every print media. Again, he was on the scene when he went to the International Criminal Court of Justice. Was it the East African Court of Justice, where he took the same case? Again, he was asking one of the presidential candidates to present his credentials, his academic papers, to see whether he was really fit for the post of presidency. And currently, just a few days ago, we had him questioning why the Chief Justice of Uganda would be in the electoral presidential elections petition that was filed by one of the former candidates. So we would want to know what exactly is behind the courage of this man. Is it courage anyway? Why is he so famous with controversies? And what exactly does he intend to see in Uganda? Join me, welcome Counsel One Mabiriizi. I know a number of us know him, but we want to take time to know him. Counsel, you're most welcome on the show.
Thank you. I'm humbled to be at UBC.
Okay.
Our station, I think, for the first time.
You have been on UBC on several occasions.
During news.
Okay.
During news, maybe, but being...
this is the first one-on-one.
One-on-one.
Who is One Mabiriizi?
First of all, I need to clarify, I'm not a legal practitioner, as you have said. A legal practitioner may mean someone who practices law. Mostly they are advocates. Their work is law. Every time he wakes up, he goes to office, he gets clients, he represents them. For me, I don't practice law. I think that takes me to who I am. I'm a lawyer. Mm-hmm. I graduated from Makerere University in 2012, but I chose not to practice law.
So, okay, first tell us who you are.
I chose not to practice law. When I was in fourth year, I had to take a decision. What should I do? Should I practice law? Should I not? Because I think in second year at Makerere, I started a business of money lending. So I became a businessman as well as a student.
Okay.
So in fourth year, I had to choose. Should I remain a businessman? Should I now become an advocate? Because being an advocate is a full-time work. It involves a lot of rules and regulations. And I thought money lending could not be a business which could fit well with an advocate. So I said, no, let me pick to be a businessman. I won't be an advocate. So starting from there, I'm a common Ugandan doing business with a law degree. As to where I came from, as you have said, my name is Male Hassan Mabiriizi Kasimuchiwanuka.
Okay.
I'm a Muganda from Kobe clan, born to Haji Mutumba Muhammad. He's at Lubaga. My mother is Maswano Dewaziwa. He's from Musenene clan. He died in 1992 when I was 5 years. So I grew that way. I went to Kokonjeru Muslim primary school down there. Then it was Mukono, now it is Buyukwe. I came to Olive. I went to Natete, in high school. Olive, I went to Kaimpe Muslim. There I scored 25 points. Then I went to Makerere government.
So when you say you're not a legal practitioner, but we see you in court almost every day, whenever there is a high-profile kind of legal matter in Uganda, for the last 3, 4, 5 years, we have seen you in court. So how would you describe yourself in terms of legal business?
No. I'm actually a civically active citizen. If you can understand that. Under our constitution, we say every citizen has a duty to protect the constitution, to promote rule of law. So I'm that citizen. I'm that citizen who was lucky to get legal education on government sponsorship, who was lucky to go to a good school like One Mabiriizi so that I can be able to go to Makerere University. So it's like a giving back. Only that the problem when the situation where in which we are, almost every day there is an illegality. So it becomes that fighting for rule of law becomes almost a daily job, when actually it's not a job.
So aren't you going to find yourself turning into the legal practitioner that you didn't want to be?
No. A practitioner is hired. A practitioner is hired. I'm not hired. Practitioner is hired. For me, I don't practice law, only that assuming illegality is stop, you will not see me here.
Do you expect that to happen?
Yes, things happen. People can reform and say now, no. This illegality should stop. For example, the other day we were in Mbale challenging the MPs extending their 7 years term. When I was watching their debate, most of them were saying, no, let's not repeat that. Because that may again breed some other problems. Because the other day when we said there was 7 years, you saw what happened. It was scrapped. So maybe people will keep on reforming. When they reform and then there's no illegality, then you won't see.
You go back to your money lending business.
Just like, yes, then I give it more time.
Why do you choose only the controversial kind of aspects to come in as somebody with the blessing of legal knowledge? Why do you only choose those that are very controversial, where you will always raise everyone's eyebrows?
Because I think that's where my profession should come in, especially where these practitioners fear to go there because of several interests. You find a practitioner, no practitioner can dare sue Kabaka, or even representing a person suing Kabaka on a case like that I'm saying on all the Uganda land, official Mairo, you have no powers to collect money from us because you don't own it. Every practitioner will say, I cannot, I will lose clients. When you go to age limit, many of them will not go there because they are fearing that, we challenge age limit, how we look at ministers. So I think that's when I'm most needed, because then for me, I will say I'm a Ugandan, but now this Ugandan who is a lawyer, but who is not out for hire. Because the moment you are out for hire, then you are in business.
Don't you think then you are wrong? Because in terms of precedent, you have lost all these counts.
That's wrong. Had you checked your notes, you'd have discovered that actually I've won many. Recently, I've heard elections in 2021. That was my effort in Mbale. The elections in the constitutional amendment were postponed to 2023 because the parliament said 7 years starting from us. So the term was 2023. So who won that? It was me. When you come to Kabaka, I've won him, I think, a dozen times. One of the most important wins was when they ordered him to present bank statements and land titles to be looked at by the court. That was my effort. So the claim that you have lost all, that is a lie. Lost what? I've won where I've been able to win. I've lost some parts, and some of those parts where I've lost, I'm appealing.
Let us look at one by one.
Yes.
How did you wake up to go and sue His Majesty the Kabaka of Buganda?
Because I have that Kabaka. If I know you're in Uganda, Kabaka is at the top of the pyramid.
Exactly.
We come from the bottom. I have where I'm buried, where they buried my judge in 1930. They buried another judge of mine in 1955, and I think 1950 there. Another one. I'm going to bury my father there. They may even bury me there. So that land is Kabaka's land. And since my grandfather went there, I think around 1890, 98, immediately after the religious wars. So many of his siblings are on that land. So Kabaka wakes up, says, and when we fought for this land, it was clear, if you have been here, they are saying, Ebiafe. But who Ebiafe? So we knew this was our property, ours, Takaliafe. So in 2016, Kabaka wakes up and says, I'm the landlord. You line up and pay me. Come and register, I know you, 600. Then after that, I must register you. You pay me with Suru, or I give you a lease. Essentially, he was depriving us from our perpetual land, who have been there, not paying anybody, now to make us tenants. And a tenant can be terminated any time. If you fail to pay, you are terminated. So that is something important. You cannot take away our land and then we keep quiet because you are the pyramid. No. That pyramid is built by us who are from down. So that is something big. It's not something simple.
How much powers does His Majesty the Kabaka have over land in Buganda, that particular section of land?
The constitution is clear. Article 246, 3A is clear. It says, shall hold the property in trust.
Exactly.
For the institution and for the people concerned. Now, what does a trustee do? A trustee does exactly what a traditional heir does, or an administrator of the estate does. He can be on the title, but manage the property, but not the owner of the property. Your elder brother who is a heir to your father cannot rent you land, your father's land. Cannot tell you that you're a tenant on your father's land. So that's what I am fighting against at Mengo. Being trustees, that land is ours, but we just trusted them with our land titles. So they cannot turn around and tell us, now, let Obusuru, ground rent is this, lease. No, that is stealing us, and that's unconstitutional.
In his efforts to manage this land, ensure that he knows how many of you are on this land, doesn't he need that money from you to facilitate the management and all of this kind of business?
What is he managing? What does it has to do with who is on that land?
If I have to register you, I need a surveyor, I need whoever.
Registering me for what? You know, this is a geographical thing. Kabaka of Uganda, we know where Uganda is, so register me for what? I'm on my land, so what do you want to register me for?
You're taking it lightly like that.
No, that is it. That's the law. I'm on my land. There is a local government there. You have a Batongole. We have LOCs. If I come to the land, I buy with my agreement. We say, chairman, can you witness? The chairman witnesses. So Kabaka wants me to know me for what? I'm supposed to sustain him through Makula. I buy a certificate, I give him Makula. That donation, that's what the constitution says. So to know me for what? Those are schemes to get money. You see, Pat Mengo, I have a problem. Traditionally, Mengo was supposed to be a place for retired people to go there and serve their traditions, culture.
Retired people?
Yes. You have retired from public service, sit there. Maybe I'm a young man who wants to serve my clan like me. I serve a Kobe clan. I say every Thursday I will go to the meeting as part of my culture work. Now they've turned it into a business where people wake up every morning to go and work there.
Don't you think that's why the kingdoms were not that vibrant as we feel them today? Because they used to hire retired men and women who could not run around to handle serious business.
Do we have kingdoms anymore? We have traditional institutions. If you go to the dictionary and check the meaning of a kingdom, we have none here. We have institutions of traditional cultural leaders. We are looking at our cultures. We want to preserve our cultures. They don't even have power to construct a trench because the constitution says they won't have any government power. So a sub-county is bigger in power than Mengo. So where are they taking that money? We don't want them to construct trenches. We don't want them to construct schools. Even the schools they construct, those are private schools. So it is just diversionary. They are not supposed to collect money from us. If we feel that we want our Kabaka, we want to go there as Quebec land people, we can take him some cows, take him some money, but not collecting money from us as if he's collecting taxes. So that goes to the core of our culture.
So are you still a vibrant practitioner of activities in your Quebec land and other kingdom activities?
Yes,
ever since you stood up and sued His Majesty?
Before that, I first sued Kabaka in my Quebec land case. I first sued Kabaka in 2015, only that you came to know me in 2016 when I sued him over land. Kabaka had kept wrong people in Quebec land leadership, and they had ruled us since over 1890. And in 2001, our fathers got a judgment that these are crooks. Chase them away. They refused to chase them away. In 2015, I sued them. I told them, you people, these are crooks. The right leader is called Kizito Mutumba Salongo, who was elected in 2001. Mengo defended himself but failed. In the result, they chased the crooks away. They confirmed the Mama Kizito Mutumba Salongo. Right now is Namwama, and I think within a short time, Kabaka made him the chairman of Ode Bataka. He's now the Mkubiza Wabataka. So am I not successful? And there I'm the minister for what? For conflict resolution.
Is your Quebec land proud of you in the administrative unit of your Quebec land?
Yes.
Are they proud of you as the man who at one time sued His Majesty the Kabaka and his government?
Yes, to revive their leadership. And they are proud that we have a man called One Mabiriizi went to court, and after that court process, they threw away the Nsowole, then they brought in the man. And even Mutebi is proud, Kabaka, because why did he appoint my clan leader? The clan leader I was fighting for to sit in that position. Now that clan leader is the head of all clan leaders. So those are positive results.
What I want to know, if you talk to Baganda, when you go to social media, a number of people within the circles, many people are not happy with you. Do you know that?
Some people. But you know, I don't need all people. I just need to be following the right principles, and then I need a sizable number of people.
Why do you think people are not happy with you in Buganda,
Some
in
people,
your own kingdom?
No, some people are ignorant. They are myopic. They think when you talk about Kabaka, they think Kabaka cannot be blamed or what. But they forget that Kabaka can make a mistake. And they have a feeling that Kabaka can even steal from us, which is not here. Even traditionally, the Baganda never allowed Kabaka to steal from them. The Mutesa one who they used to call him Mokabia, and they boycotted him. Then when they boycotted him, they said, what's wrong? He said, Kabaka, people are tired of you. He said, no, let them come and we negotiate. But just then they said, he has become a Mutesa. Then become a Mutesa. So since time immemorial, we have been democratic here. When you rule us in Vagaland, in an improper way, we blame you, we chase you.
Many people think you should have handled these issues within the Buganda kind of structural systems to find a solution, not to go to the civil public courts of law.
Now, what structural system in Buganda can resolve that land matter, a decision made by Mutebi de Kabaka, that you can collect money from the people? Now, which other system could do that? Could check on him? None.
Besides that, you go to Mbale with other lawyers. You argued out cases. One, the age limit that you lost as a group, and the other one, the 7 years that you say you won.
Not we say that we won.
Exactly. You left Mbale dissatisfied, and you suggested going to East African Court of Justice.
I left Mbale dissatisfied. I came to Supreme Court with a full pickup of documents. The Chief Justice Katrebe said Simanyi was blind. Then he read the judgment. Then I went to East Africa.
What happened in the East African Court?
We are still there. On the first phase, the first instance division, I'm happy that there is a landmark decision that the Ugandan Supreme Court is not the alpha and omega. They said when the Supreme Court makes a decision, you can go to the East African Court and inquire into its legality. So there is a principle which has come here that the Supreme Court in Uganda can make actually an illegal decision. It can make an illegal decision, and that illegal decision can be challenged at Arusha. That was very important. The remaining part I'm still challenging, fighting over them in the appellate division, is their refusal to annul that amendment in the Constitution through that illegal process. Now, Arusha has two courts. The first instance we finished. The second instance, now that's where the appeal is, the appellate division.
Everyone saw you with the pickup of documents.
Yes.
Why?
That's the reality, the difference, because people think these are simple things.
Why did you have to carry a whole pickup of documents?
Those were the documents. When you look at the documents, the proceedings at Mbale, you are covering them. We spent 2 weeks arguing, interviewing, cross-examining the CDF, the permanent secretaries, operation people from police. All those pages at Mbale had about 8,000, was it 1,800 pages? Yeah, I think it's 1,800 pages.
So you printed all of that and carried to the Supreme Court?
Into 10 copies. Then add on the proceedings, the arguments, the judgment. The judgment itself had 800 pages. The judgment at Mbale. So combine all those, then print into 10 copies to deliver so that those judges can consider the appeal. So the difference was that people, at least we made people to understand how hectic and how heavy it is to challenge a constitutional amendment which has a greater impact on society. And therefore, they should move so slowly when people tell them we are going to amend your constitution. And I think that message is now home. Even MPs now know that when you amend the constitution, things may
there are areas you don't go.
Yes, there are areas you don't go. And when you go there, it is hard. People are now understanding that actually these are serious matters. We should.
How did you lose the Mbale case? the removal of the edge from
We
the
did not
Constitution?
lose the Mbale case. No, we actually
I'm
won.
talking about the area of the removal of...
Maybe you say, why were we not declared to have won? Those are two different things.
After leaving Mbale,
Eh.
it looked like you remain running alone. All your other lawyers, it looks like they had given up on the case.
You see,
Why did you remain alone? Why did you insist on it?
I've never went to Mbale with any person. When Parliament amended the Constitution on 20th, actually it was 20th December 2017, I was one on 22nd December who ran to the Constitutional Court. And I said this amendment is illegal. Everybody was silent. Actually, all other people came in 2018, some in January, others in February, after their assent. So I went there alone. They joined me on the way. They just joined me on the way.
You started the fight.
I started the fight. They joined me on the way. So if you start a journey, and then on the way you find some people, they walk with you, what do you do with them when they start branching off from where they are going?
Anyway,
Anyway.
how successful are you? And do
what?
you like them in terms of achieving what you're
I'm not
running
like
after?
them. I'm not like them. I went to Supreme Court with others. We want some things, we lost others. At East Africa, I've told you there is a precedent which is so clear that when the Supreme Court makes a decision here, be it a land matter, be it criminal, be it a decision that you should be hanged, you can go to East Africa and say, no, this decision is illegal. Nullify it.
You have won that.
Yes, and those are important things which people don't see, but they will see maybe when they get a legal trouble, or that's when they see that, I think things are serious.
One day you have Baganda against you, your fellow Baganda actually. The other day you have the NRM man happy with you and opposition is very happy with you. Then a time came when the opposition was very unhappy with you, when you woke up and went to the Electoral Commission officially challenging the academic documents of one of the candidates,
And
Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu. How did you wake up with that again?
What do you call opposition? You see,
The group that is against the sitting government.
Yes, is against the sitting government. So you think that group is Chagulanyi alone? So,
But he's part of the group.
so yes, so when we were part of the group, I'm also part of the group.
How did you again wake up to go and challenge the
Because-
credentials of somebody on your side?
Someone on my side must be clean. You see, I cannot be having that person on my side, but I'm saying the others, please, can you check yourself? Something is stinking here. Can you can you check yourselves? When I cannot actually, I first ask my neighbor, what happened? Are you okay? Did you bathe? That's the point.
The way you did it, don't you
Yes.
think you were trying to demean the man on your side, trying to patch
Which
holes
is okay. You must know
in his image?
that even on my side, there is competition in who should be fronted to fight the other side. There must be competition. Like we used to have school games. We first had competition amongst our houses. Then from inter-house competition, then you could get a team which could go and fight at the other school. So there is competition amongst ourselves because when you don't compete favorably, you get wrong people to represent you. Yet the other group may be more organized than you.
In simple terms,
Eh.
were you checking Chagulanyi, and for what intent?
Because this is a country which needs serious people. Chagulanyi was not qualified for presidency to be nominated.
Do you still stand out
Yes,
to say that?
yes, and now
When
there's
the
even
Electoral
proof.
Commission nominated him,
illegally, and actually I sued it in East African court. It nominated him illegally.
you have a case in the East African
Yes,
court
challenging
Chagulanyi's
nomination of Chagulanyi and Tibuhaburwa. Those two.
Why?
Chagulanyi doesn't qualify to be.
Why? Tell us why.
No, I made it clear. Chagulanyi, the documents I saw in his senior 4, the guy failed math. Then I was asking the PS Minister of Education, what happens to a person who fails math? Has he passed? I've not got a response up to now.
Then why do you say he failed? He doesn't qualify.
I know he failed. Then the
qualifications to
document
stand-
I had from UNEB, which the Electoral Commission gave me, showed that Chagulanyi had studied A-level for 1 year. Yes, it's for 2 years. That's another issue. Then I was telling them, how can someone study A-level? The guy had failed GP. So again, I was asking the PS, can someone who has failed GP, how do people pass A-level?
What are the qualifications to stand for president in Uganda?
The constitution says a person must have completed minimum advanced level education.
Exactly.
Now, completion.
The nitty-gritties that you're coming out with.
No.
Do they really matter?
If you go for the definition of completion, you'll understand that you must have passed. You cannot claim to have completed A level when you failed. Then you don't qualify. So the guy was not qualified. You fail math, you fail GP. Okay, assuming in Uganda academic, I've not got to that information, but assuming that person has passed, then would he be the best to represent us at the national level where other players are presenting better candidates? For us, should we present a person who fails general paper? How will we analyze his situations? So people thought that was something small. They nominated him. Well, they nominated him, I think it was 2nd or 3rd November. 18th November, how many died? I think it's about now 200.
How do you relate the deaths of the
simple
18th
relationship?
November
They're dying because of
and his nomination?
They are dying because of a candidate.
How? Relate the two for
They
me.
are dying because of a candidate.
How does Chagulanyi's nomination connect with the people that died?
Here is a candidate nominated under a system of COVID. He's told that actually, Byabakama told them, I challenged Byabakama when he was announcing his roadmap. Byabakama told them, I will nominate you, but this is scientific. No campaigns, no what. We are in COVID. Chagulanyi agrees. Present his papers, present signatures. Byabakama nominates him. He tells him, I've nominated you, but no campaign. This is COVID. And of course, COVID was real, despite the politics in it and the corruption surrounding all that. Now, after knowing that COVID is real, people are dying, not only in Uganda, but worldwide. This candidate goes and converges people. Everywhere he goes. He converges people, no mask, no what.
You relate that
Yes.
to Senior Six performance?
Yes, and general paper. What did you say in general paper? Eh? Analyze the causes of this, analyze this. So if I were to analyze everything, even history was getting this, what and what. So I think his analysis is too low. So if I were to analyze that in dealing with the Museveni and his system, amidst an international pandemic, you need to keep these people safe. So you go to Busia, you convene people without masks. You even tell them that, if you don't have masks, it's okay.
To you, that is related
to education, because that's why people who framed the constitution target presidents for education.
I want us to take a break, but now tell this to me. The opposition group, the people in the opposition, then concluded that you were working for the NRM because you tried in coming out with a move to ask for his papers and push that the man is not qualified. You were working for the NRM to embarrass the opposition candidate Chagulanyi.
Actually, I was working against NRM because NRM badly wanted Chagulanyi. NRM wants a weak person to represent our school so that they can easily floor him. NRM wanted Chagulanyi badly. And NRM did not want people like Besigye to come. They said, let that one come. Now for me, I was saying, no, you are going to make us lose. You are not competent to represent us. So NRM was happy
with your move.
No, was happy with Chagulanyi being a candidate, and he was so annoyed with my move to block him.
Thank you so much. To you watching, we are with Council Hassan Malech One Mabiriizi, a Muganda who took Kabaka to court. He challenged the age limit and he says he won in Mbale with a group of other lawyers. He is still in court at the East African Court of Justice, and he also came up to challenge one of the presidential candidates' credibility and capacity to sit and fit in the office of the presidency. We want to know more with him on return after this very short break. Keep it with us. Do not go anywhere. Yes, a very good evening once again. You're still watching UBC One-on-One with Michael Jordan Lukomwa. Thank you so much for keeping it with us. We are with Council Hassan Mabiriizi, and we are getting to understand a number of things with him. Like I said at the beginning, this show is about inspiration. I'm sure by the end of the show, you will have learned something about him. Analysis and accountability. The times he goes to court, what exactly does he go for there? And what kind of lessons do we have to pick? Council, welcome back from the break.
Thank you.
Yes, by the time we went to a break, you had said you thought 2 candidates were not qualified. You wanted Museveni also disqualified from the election?
Yes, you see,
you didn't want him nominated.
I got documents that nominated Museveni. The document which we have released, saying that the following have been cleared to go to Chambogo for nomination, had Yoweri Museveni Kaguta. Now, final announcement of people you had nominated Yoweri Museveni Kaguta Tibuhaburwa.
What is the problem there?
There's a problem. Those are 2 different people. Especially that this man, we have never heard about Tibuhaburwa. So I'm asking, can we know how this came? Where are those documents which have Tibuhaburwa? Why were they not? Why was he not using the first name? So those are the issues. Then for Kyagulanyi, I've told you. Yes.
So you are in the East African Court of Justice, challenging the nomination of the 2.
Yes, actually.
Isn't that already overtaken by events?
No. That's not how law works.
One is going to swear in May. Another one was even going to court challenging the elections. He has given up even on the challenge.
But you can swear in illegally. You see, when you are telling me, if someone steals your land, have his name registered on the title and he builds on your land, don't you challenge that? Don't you sue? The moment you win in court, everything is demolished. Or you can even occupy that house. So we are talking about rule of land illegalities. They don't have an expiry date. If you are nominated illegal and then the court finds that you are nominated illegal, do you remain a president? So for us, we are not about these petty things, simplicity. And that's the problem I have with some group of opposition. They believe in simplicity. They don't believe in investing so much in system that can work for them in future. That's why you find Kyagulanyi standing up somewhere saying those judges are not fair. But when you check all those judges saying they're not fair, they were approved when he was in parliament. He never raised any single query when parliament was approving them. It's actually me. It was only singly me who challenged Owinyido's approval in parliament when he was appointed.
You challenged that?
Yes,
as well?
Yes.
I
wrote to the speaker. I told Madam Speaker, don't approve that man.
Why?
I told him that man doesn't respect self-represented litigants. When I went to Mbale, he threw me to the dock. He threatened to throw me out. See, he's incompetent, he's lazy. He promised to give me reasons at Mbale why he did not summon the speaker. Up to now, I've never seen the reasons. So when you approve that man, it's going to be a problem to the judiciary. The MPs there, the Segonas, the Kyagulanyis, the Mpugas, never said a word. The man was approved. Chivita was approved recently. In that parliament. Muhangos was approved recently. So because they don't believe in investing in making systems that work for them, now they are complaining against them when they are sitting there.
But you are complaining with them. Just a few days ago, yesterday but one,
yes,
we had a story of you challenging.
Yes, I was following up. You see, for me now,
Justice Owinyido's.
I'm now following up on what I told Parliament, that this man has a problem. So, Parliament defied me. They approved him. So the problem comes in. A former lawyer, personal lawyer, sitting in his client's case.
We'll come to that.
Yes.
I want us to look at this. Why did they try to throw you out of court in Mbale?
I think misconduct by those judges.
Really?
Yes, because...
How come it was only you? You were a number of lawyers there.
I could have been me who was most serious about the CDF.
Wow. Why
because the problem,
how do you measure seriousness?
The problem was with the CDF. David Mohoz, he came to court, he had made an affidavit. Then we said we want to examine him, he came. Then I asked him, where did you sign this affidavit from? Then he says, from Attorney General Chambers. Then as I was driving him to say, who was there? Then Onyudo says, why do you ask that? Do you want him to say that do you want to say that there was no commissioner for oath? Then I was serious because I knew Mohoz was lying. He would never appear before the commissioner. Then I asked him, if you are in Kasese, could you swear on something where you were not around? Then when you said, I am going to throw you out. Because I was asking serious questions, real questions, to check the hearsay he was giving to court. Because he was not at parliament, but he was swearing. Yeah, you know, I was told. The commanders told me.
What happened on the first day of the hearing? That's when there was the first drama of trying to throw you out.
No. Then they were just trying they displaced me from where I was sitting to the dock, claiming that I'm not an advocate. So I should sit somewhere. Then I was telling them, you people, an advocate is an agent. He's a paid agent. So I'm the principal, I've come to court. How do you tell me that I cannot sit where an agent sits? But anyway, I said now, I have no issue with them, let me be there. And I proceeded.
A number of your fellow lawyers challenge you that you make a lot of mistakes, you don't understand a number of things because you do not go for the LDC diploma.
Now for them, I think they are just myopic. They were put in a certain car box called LDC. That car box is for 9 months. And the diploma is called Diploma in Legal Practice. Legal
practice.
It's not a diploma in law. They just learn how to represent you people in court, how to tell you how to draft for you documents. For me, I studied 4 years an LLB. I studied all the substantive laws. So for them, they think by going down there, they are so different. No, that is 9 months. Just to tell you how do you behave, you must wear black, you must do this, you respect a judge.
I heard that comment so much.
Because
the times you carried a pickup of documents, many of them were all over saying, you see, this man minimized the LDC. If he went to LDC, he would have carried a few documents. Don't you take it serious?
Now, how many of them have even the capacity to handle such constitutional case? Not a few. How many were we in Mbale? We were a few. Actually, I was with senior people. Look, we were prosecuted for about 20 years. For I'm a young man. One day, I think about 30 years. That's 25 years. So those know the magnitude. And I don't know if you followed up what Lukwago found. That was a Baruke case. But for them, I think some of them have envy. They're saying, now this man, because they thought by going to DC, they would come out to be good lawyers. But now, after going there, they become commercial people. They mind about buying cars, building a house, making lavish weddings. Yet for us, we are out here for rule of law. We want to see a safer country.
Why don't you challenge these people and go to LDC for only those 9 months?
I don't admire.
What is so heavy with 9 months?
I don't admire to be an advocate. I didn't fail their pre-entry. I didn't try to go there. I don't admire. I took a personal choice. You see, when you look at a roundabout, you choose where to go. And when you go there, you just insist on where you have gone. Whether they are potholes, you drive. So I chose not to be that.
With the number of matters that come up and actually you find yourself paying attention, picking interest in taking the legal paths, don't you think you need to add on that knowledge what? You call little?
No. I told you there, they train them to represent people. They train them to be hired.
Won't you need that someday to come?
No. Like, take it like a taxi. When you buy your kamunye from a bond, does it have a PSV? No. It's you who makes the decision. Should I use it to drive migati, bread, matoke, or should I take passengers? So I chose not to take passengers. I chose not to be hired. Is that a big problem? I have my 4 years law. What did I not study?
So you will not go to LDC?
I will not, because for me I studied and completed. I chose not to be an advocate, and I will not be so. Unless maybe by law I'm compelled to be an advocate without going to LDC. Unless they make a law that every person who went to law must do this. But I could even challenge that law, because for me I chose not to be that.
Actually, I was told that's why Justice Owinyi-Dolo and colleagues were throwing you out in Mbale. They said this is a place for only advocates.
Because
you were not.
They are copying colonialists. They want to scare people from the court. You see, colonialists built that system here. They were fearing Africans. So they built, when you go to High Court, the judge sits up there so that this black man, they fear that this black man could gun the attack. So they train some whites and some black people. They tell them, you respect the judge. When you attack him, we shall take away your practicing certificate. So they always match up blight. So even when that judge is stealing you, say much obliged. So Owinyi Dolos and others don't want the revolution I'm leading. I'm leading a legal revolution that common people can go to court there, learn what to do, and talk their own things. Take an example of Kyagulanyi. Kyagulanyi personally said, I don't want Owinyi Dolo in my case. I don't want Muhanguzi, I don't want Chivita. But this trained lawyer called Segona went robbed before the judges. They asked him, your client doesn't want judges. So I don't have instructions. My instruction is presented. I don't have instructions for the choose. Yet Kyagulanyi, the common man, wants the man out of the case. So if it was Kyagulanyi handling his own case, he would come and tell the judges, you, I don't want you. You were a lawyer. You, I don't want you because of this and this and this. So these judges want that system to be maintained so that they insulate us, so that they can steal our land when we are quiet. Toyogera. When you go with the lawyer to court, sit. Then you want to stand up, but sit.
So you do not sit where you feel you should stand up?
Yes. So
isn't that contempt of court? Did you study that?
Why?
As a lawyer with 4 years training.
How is it contempt when I'm standing up for my right? There's someone stealing my land. I want to tell this court that that man is lying. The lawyer tells me sit down. I will tell the judge. What if the lawyer has also been compromised? And it's possible. That's why under the presidential election petition regulations, they are saying when you're doing a petition, let your lawyer also make an affidavit that he was not compromised. So I want to tell people that the justice system is ours. That's what the Constitution says under Article 26. Justice is in the name of the people. So we are the people. You don't scare me. Don't sit there as if there's electricity there.
Now, you are in agreement with the ordinary man, Kyagulanyi, a man you described as a failure in senior 6, he did not complete. You are in agreement with him.
No.
You both want Justice Owinyi Dolo.
It does not make him a non-Ugandan. He's a Ugandan.
Okay, he's a Ugandan, but you said, due to the meaning of the word completion, he failed senior 6.
Yes.
Thank you. So, but you are in the same bucket with him disqualifying Justice Owinyi Dolo out of the election petition.
Yes.
Do you see the irony then? You are in agreement with the man you call local.
Being local,
on this particular aspect,
being local does not take away your rights. No. Just like I have many relatives who are illiterate, many relatives in Wamand everywhere who are illiterate. Is it okay for you to steal their land? No. They can even come to court and translate for them. The point I was making related to presidency. You see, presidency is in its own class because of the power there. That's why there are qualifications. So being local, whether you never went to school, whether you a teacher, whether you are a farmer, you are a Ugandan with full rights. That's the point I'm making. Whether Kyagulanyi was local, actually, whether Kyagulanyi has a weak case in the petition, whether he has a strong case in the petition, that doesn't matter. He needs fair hearing. He needs an impartial court. That's the point. It doesn't matter whether it's Kyagulanyi or BSG or even Museveni himself needs an impartial court. Assuming, even right now, if he's sued, he needs an impartial court. Even Museveni has not did Owinyi to be in that case. But
why?
Assuming they got a grudge, assuming he did not properly pay Owinyi as his lawyer. And Owinyi has a grudge that man ate my money. Do you see how?
He may end up with an unfair judgment.
Yes. So every person needs an impartial judiciary.
Whose interests were you serving in coming out to disqualify Justice Owinyi Dolo? Were you serving Museveni's interests or Kyagulanyi and then you?
Uganda people's interests, because it's in the interest of every Ugandan that courts are impartial. It's in the interest of every citizen of Uganda, not only citizens, even foreigners. I think a white man would want to come here and make an investment. When they steal him, he goes to court, then the court makes a decision which is fair. So every person needs justice, needs a fair system. So this is our country. We are here. We have been here. For me, I don't even have plans of going out of the country. I don't even have a passport. So I'm here.
You don't have a passport?
Yes. I don't need one.
Why? A businessman?
I do my business here. Does every businessman has to travel? I do my business here. I don't need one. Actually, I'm a common Ugandan. Did my judge have passport? But he lived there. He paid my fees.
Council Mabiriizi.
Yes.
What do you make of First of all, the presidential electoral petition. What do you make of it? And the decision to withdraw from the court proceedings. What do you make of the two?
You see,
as somebody actually who has appeared before this panel of judges.
From the beginning, I think there was a problem with the petitioner Kyagulanyi and his team. The legal team, I think, was incompetent.
Really?
Yes, extremely
You're
incompetent.
talking of a team led by Counsel Medad Segona?
Yes, Segona was incompetent with his team. You cannot tell me that a person has told you, let's file a petition. He makes himself available, he gives you the evidence, he signs his affidavit. Then 3 days after filing, you come back. That Segona man and their team, they wrote to court on Friday. I think it was 28th January, that you see, we want to file a petition. They told them come on Monday. So they used the entire weekend. On Monday they come at 3. 2 days after that, they say want to amend. Now, isn't that incompetence?
What is wrong with that?
There's something wrong. If you're a competent team, you sit, you drop pleadings. And then 2 days you want to amend. Where are you sleeping? How do you come to file something which is substandard? Then they give you time. Because 11 days after filing, they fail to produce any single affidavit. Then after that, they give them more time. Then again, they fail to beat that time. Then they come back, please, we want more time. Now for what? That's incompetence.
So, are you trying to say Kyagulanyi was let down by Segona and the team of lawyers?
Even himself let himself down. Who appointed Segona and lawyers? Segona and his team. It is Kyagulanyi who appointed them. So they were in the same. They were in the same.
I would love us to discuss individuals here, but they are
no. Those are the individuals.
Segona is a senior lawyer in this town.
Being senior is like you can find
a law lecturer at university.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is a constitutional election. This is an election petition. You say you are either competent or incompetent. It doesn't matter whether you are a lecturer. How many professors do you know practice law? I know Dr. Sylvia Tamale is not a professor. He's a good lecturer. Does he appear in court? Professor Jolo Konyango, does he appear in court? Eh? So it doesn't matter. Being a lecturer and appearing in court, those are two different things. You know, as a journalist, you know journalism professors. Are they reporters?
No, they don't.
Are they presenters? So those are two different things. The man was incompetent at his team. So that incompetence, I think, made the client even frustrated.
What would you have done if you were in Segona's shoes?
Of course, I would make pleadings which are up to the standard. This is a presidential election petition. You see, people went through a lot during campaign and after campaign. People are being arrested. So you play around with it. I would make it serious. I would not beat. I would beat deadlines. What does it do? Does it need rocket science to beat a deadline? You rather sleep. You rather spend a night doing work than sleeping, and beat a deadline. So that is incompetence of the highest order. And I don't want people to say, you see, yes, we know courts have their own problems, but we can deal with that after our side is okay. That's what I was telling you. We as a team, we must organize ourselves before we can attack. But when you send troops on the front line without food, without weapons, and then they kill them, you will have killed them, not the enemy.
Did Museveni have chances of winning this case if they didn't withdraw it?
No. I won't go into whether someone would win or win, because I could be able to assess the whole case after looking at all the evidence. But you have a case where someone saying I improperly pleaded my case. Then after that, he says 200 affidavits. That is evidence. 200 have been locked out. I read one of the affidavits which was locked out by some IT guy called Aineviona. He was very clear and saying that surely the results which were read were fabricated. Because in 2016, there was the head of ICT at the Electoral Commission said that system, the electronic transmission system, cannot work without internet. So now that internet was off, how did you generate them? So all that evidence was locked out. So how can you assess it now? It would be better if the evidence was in, then they respond, then you could make an assessment and say maybe it could go this way or that way. For me, I believe, I know our courts are weak and incompetent,
yes,
but I believe when we are organized and build these systems from the beginning, we can win. In age limit, we lost by 1. Raila Odinga lost many times in Kenya, but in 2017 he won, and a run was made. But now the problem is Even our side, we're not organized enough. You see, people survive on mediocrity. They do things and they say, now, is this presidential material? These are national matters. Someone says, you see, you gave me the line, it laps, but people voted you from all over the country. Fort Poto, where. So for me, that's my problem. Seriousness is important. And mediocrity.
In as far as I know, you lawyers take instructions from us,
yes,
your clients. And
the reason why you give lawyers instructions is because you trust that they are better than you in that field of law. You're a journalist, you are not so good at law. That's why you say, I have a case, let me go to a lawyer and explain to him my case.
So when he makes mistakes,
they bind you, but it's him. It's mostly him, because he's supposed to advise you and act accordingly. When you give him a land title, doesn't attach it to a case, and then the judge says, where is the land title? I'm dismissing the case. Who is to blame? The client has given you his evidence. Then you say, I was caught up by time. So who is to blame? He has given 200 affidavits. Some affidavits were from people like Rubongoya, people Katana who are living in Kampala. So you leave them out, you don't file them. Time gets you. So what do you want? So the client ends up being frustrated and says, no, I think this case should be withdrawn. They told him, man, it doesn't matter, we shall see what to do, but I'm frustrated.
Where do you get the courage to go for these kind of cases that are controversial? Where do you get the courage? What motivates you?
I think
because many of us misunderstand you actually.
I think the motivation...
What motivates you to go for the kind of cases you choose to go for?
The motivation is being a Ugandan. And
just that?
Yes.
We are all Ugandans.
Yes, but maybe the difference between me and you, I studied law. After studying law, I discovered that actually it was just luck. I was lucky to study law. And then I think we need a safer country. I think I have a role to play in making this country safer for me, my relatives, and then for the generation to come, for my children when I get them. So we have a role to play. So point is, when you wake up, when you sleep in your bed, seeing what is happening, which is wrong in your country, and which is going to affect, you see, the politics affects people here. Since independence, politics of this country has killed, I think, close to 10 million people. Only politics. Those people are not dying because of disease or accidents, but politics. When you compute from 1962 up to where you are, people are dying of politics. So when we get a chance of making it better, then it's better we do it. We have a short life. Tomorrow you die, tomorrow someone, but should we leave this country when it is bad, when you don't do something? Yet when you do something, then you can improve it, assuming those who came before us never fought against colonialists all over. Would we still under colonialism?
From suing His Majesty the Kabaka, going in for the age limit case almost on your own, going in for the Chief Justice, checking a candidate where many people looked at you as a betrayer, just like the case with His Majesty the Kabaka. How would you describe the man One Mabiriizi yourself?
I think
actually, just to tell you, many people think you're mad, you're bribed,
whatever
you're being used. How would you describe One Mabiriizi yourself?
At every one time they will discover that I'm just a principled man. I'm just a principled and straight man who says what I feel to straight. And that's what I think even some Justice Samoko was saying. You always ask for excuse. I told her yes, because I don't want to backbite you. When I say you cannot give me justice, I tell you I fear you can't give me justice. So I tell you straight to you. I'm just principled and I have feel for this country. So I cannot keep pretending because this man is opposition. No. I think I was raised not to be that. I was raised to be straight, to speak what I feel. Even when I was a young boy, they would tell me, speak how do you feel? What do you want? I will speak it. Then it's either denied or
given.
That's the point.
Thank you so much, Counsel One Mabiriizi. He is the man that sued His Majesty the Kabaka of Buganda. And a lot was said. He was talked about as a betrayer. He was talked about so many things. And from there, he went ahead to represent himself in Mbale during the court proceedings over the case where government was taken to court, Parliament actually, over passing the Parliamentary Act that was removing the Article 102B and a number of other provisions. From there, One Mabiriizi again stood up to go up to the East African Court of Justice. The other day he was questioning the credibility and capacity of one of the presidential candidates, that is Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, in issues to do with his academic papers. Then just a few days ago, the same man was standing questioning, in fact, disqualifying the Chief Justice from the panel of judges trying to hear the presidential elections petition. So we took interest in knowing who this man is and who does he work for. Like the saying is, what is his intentions in whatever he does? Just like the theme of the show is inspiration, analysis, and accountability. And in this 1 hour, I'm sure we have gotten enough of that from the man Hassan Malech Wanuka Mabiriizi. We thank you so much for watching. That is all we had for you. UBC One-on-One with Michael Jordan Lukomwa. Till next time, bye-bye.